Smoke, puff, puff, pass that vibe. Stone apes get high, puff, puff, we like puff, puff, pass that vibe. Stone apes get high, puff, puff, we like
Puff, puff, pass them vibes. PFO getting high. Yo, yo, Johnny O.
How you doing, man?
Excellent. And we got LJ. Happy to have another female on the show.
And Dag coming in here.
This is exciting.
Pass the vibes.
Well, I think the legend's in the house. PFO, are you there?
Hey, yeah, of course. What's good?
Puff, puff.
buddy.
Puff, puff.
Puff, 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 puff. Yeah, thanks for having me. Kind of great to be here. Watch the show several times and finally be able to make it myself. Happy to be on Pass the Vibes.
Yeah, you're the most requested community member out of staff, probably for obvious reasons. You and Abo, and we had Abo, so now it's your turn. Well, PFO, I think maybe the first question on everybody's minds was, how did you get into NFTs? Start us out with the journey into the stoned apes for you.
I need to think back because it's a longer time ago now. Like I worked in the payment space, worked on like financial processing, things like that. Also came into touch with crypto, was fascinated by the concept of like a global state machine that can handle this and is like a public layer that's like way better than everything we had before in financial processing. If it would be adapted, the ability to send around money instantly around the world is already incredible. Was in a department that worked specifically on like crypto payments and using crypto in behind for doing things, and actually worked a lot with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lightning. So that was the roots. And then obviously like working in like more or less in crypto company, you discuss crypto, you have a lot of people around. So a bunch of people introduced me to NFTs. Me as like a techie guy at first, I was like, okay, I don't know, seems like a scam. I don't know why, but why should you have this like monkey pictures even? Missed like Bored Apes or anything else early on. Then actually got into NFTs because I just thought like, okay, why not just buy one? Like I was on Ethereum, bought some NFTs there. First time actually. I actually bought some random pandas or something. I don't know. I just want to mint something. It was a time where you couldn't even mint something on ETH. Like it was always a gas war. I didn't want to bid like $300 gas on minting something.
Do you think that experience led you into Sol?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we thought about it in the beginning, like ETH or Sol, always in our preparation. And when we start the community already, like first people in the Discord, and I don't know if everyone knows this, but we like took like several months until we like launched. And people were already like, when are you finally minting? I'm ready already. Can you please announce a date already? Like that was the whole thing. But we wanted to like reach certain numbers first and wanted to have like an organic community before we mint even. Just felt more fresh and more dope on Solana, and the people way more engaged. It was just fun. And then also based on the concept that we built out in like evolving your apes and transitioning them, it just made sense to do this on Solana and not on ETH.
Well, and the big example of that was the other side mint from Yuga Labs, man. People were paying like $10,000 in gas fees.
Yeah, we definitely moved away from Ethereum as well once we found Solana. It was a game changer.
The other side mint is a good example. I think they spent like 200 million on minting or so and burned 150 million in gas fees. Ooh. Of course, ETH is deflationary if you like burn so much with mints.
It sounds like our starts in the NFT space were similar. I only lasted in ETH for 1 mint before I made it over to Solana. At what point, PFO, did you like have that realization that you wanted to start like move from being a consumer in the NFT space to a project founder?
In the beginning, it was just like a bunch of friends here in Austria in an apartment that like 3 friends that live together, sharing a love for like cannabis. Yeah, we got 2 more people involved and then got some US people involved. Like in the evening, we just enjoyed NFTs and we did like certain programming, but then we thought, okay, there's no, like, of course, in the evening we smoked weed sometime or so, but we realized, okay, there's no real like cannabis NFT. And also there's a lot of like, based on what we have seen, the execution sometimes wasn't that good. For example, I was on ETH. So I think we have been one of the first staking projects on Solana, but I've been, for example, in a staking project on ETH, and that like worked horrible. And also, for example, another example, in order to claim your tokens, you paid like $60-$70 in gas fees. But we just thought, okay, we could do that better. We've been 3 guys, 2 developers, and thought, okay, we have these skills that it requires, and a lot of people actually want to have like devs involved and couldn't find devs, and we thought, okay, we can do that. And so we just started out and thought, okay, want to do a cannabis related project because there is not really one, and we thought we would do the best. And then, as you know, Abo is in Berlin, and I worked with her before, so just called her on a random day and was like, would you like to draw domed monkeys?
Or flamingos?
Flamingos.
At first?
At first it was flamingos. Just talked about that, was stone flamingos. Yeah, actually, I think she drafted on like things for like 2 or 3 weeks. But then we realized it doesn't look good if a flamingo holds a joint or something.
I'd probably not have vibe with my flamingo PFP.
Yeah.
She told us that story, actually. It was a cool story.
It was a fun story. It was actually really fun. For me, it was like, I don't want to have apes because everyone knows bored apes. So I was like, could we find something else? I don't know if you know the co-artists, like Peter and Abo, they worked from the beginning and they also live together, and they are both like co-artists. So Anne in the lead position and Peter being like her co-artist. Peter is big stoner, big involved in that game, and so he's like big in that game. Abo, as you know, isn't that big into it. So that was a big collaboration. Yeah, the ape just looked in the end the best, so we decided to go with the ape. I was actually a little bit against the ape, but everyone else was like, yeah, it looks so dope. Let's go with the ape.
I like it because it's like it relates humanly, but it's still an ape. I'm not a big fan of like human PFPs personally. I just don't want to see like a version of like who I could be. You know, like I'm blatantly not an ape, but like I wear beanies a lot, like right now.
The art is gorgeous. The concept of the 4 roles, because you really need all 4 roles in order to make a cannabis business successful. So I think that's very creative. I think that makes it really stand out.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the success came from like taking the time before Mint to really work on the concept, on what we want to do. Because after Mint, it's always stressful. Everyone wants you to deliver something every
Pump
week.
the bags.
Yeah, basically pump the bags. It's hard to like take a step back and really do this like groundwork again. I mean, I now learned that you need to do it, and that it actually maybe 1 week you drop 20%, but the next week or like the months after, if you do something really good, you just come back and it's way better than being in this loop every week. And actually already in the beginning, there was a lot of community feedback. So even before minting, we had a lot of like trade contests, and created a lot of trades based on community feedback. So that was really cool.
What is it like, PFO, to go through the minting experience on the developer side of things?
Hella stressful.
I was just gonna say.
Like, I still know that the weekend that we minted, I don't know, it was already like, as I told you, like so many people were like, okay, when do you finally mint? So, and I know that like Anne really is a perfectionist on art. We couldn't like just generate the apes in a normal way and hire someone on Fiverr. It took a week to develop the whole condition system to get this together. But then there was some like final art changes. So on the weekend, when we minted, we actually thought a few days before we were ready with the whole art. But then Anne came along with some art changes. So we needed to work on conditions and generate them. The generation code that we back then wrote ran over like 24 hours. So we didn't even know if like the art is really generated ready for when we mint. So that was kind of, I stayed up until like 4 a.m. then ran generation code, went to sleep, woke up at 8 a.m. But like somehow it hang on, so it wasn't ready. So we needed to delay the mint for 1 day. And for us sitting here, it was horrible. Actually, like we thought now it's over. We need to delay for 1 day. It's over. Everything is fucked. Nobody wants to mint this shit anymore.
It gave me more chance to get more solos. Awesome.
I wouldn't have been able to mint if it hadn't have been delayed.
We didn't mint Stoned Apes because we hadn't heard about Stoned Apes yet. We had just started getting into the NFT space, but that was right around Thanksgiving. And for Christmas, I asked Sam, I said, which watch do you want me to get you? He said, I want you to get me an NFT. I said, what do you mean? He said, I want you to get me a Stoned Ape. And I bought him his first farmer Stoned Ape.
Nice. Yeah, congrats on that.
Well, here's a funny story I'll tell you, PFO. The Stoned Apes was one of the first projects I was in Seoul. I've been in crypto a lot longer, but not NFTs. So I had the free mint, and I'll shout out the OGs. It was because of the 420 SS. Like the Twitter rating and stuff you guys used to do and offer a whitelist. And I didn't know you had to submit a wallet back then. So I basically missed the free mint. And anyone who's spoken to me here knows, let's say I'm an old soul in NFTs. I'm one of the top end of the people here in the space. But I'm asking around, I'm like, oh, I missed the free mint. How do I get this? And people keep sending me messages like PFO. And I think, what the hell does that mean? What are these people telling me to do? Like PFO, what? Is that a website? So
is that an acronym?
Yeah, is it an acronym? Well, that's also what I thought. So God bless my old soul. I looked up on the Urban Dictionary what PFO meant.
Oh dear.
You know what it means? It means please fuck off. So
Oh shit.
So I'm messaging people like, hey man, I had the free mint. What do I have to do? And they're like, go talk to PFO. And I'm like, this motherfucker's telling me to go fuck myself.
Oh God.
So there you go. That was my first experience I wanted to share with you. Obviously, I'm still here and I loved it, but hey, there you go.
Did you get the free mint?
No, I didn't in the end. I minted the famous Red Farmer. I didn't get the free mint, but I did get a funny story out of it in the end.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
PFO, if there was is there anything you would go back and change about just the launch process, just the way everything transpired with Stoned Ape Crew Mint?
I would say just take another week. Like at the time, we didn't think like it is possible to do like another week or something, because like everyone was like, yeah, this is the perfect weekend. And
would you go back and do like a reveal mint?
No, wouldn't do that.
What are your thoughts on reveal mints?
It's fun, but it's I think a little bit overused with like delaying so long. It sometimes feels like projects are minting before they're even ready.
So what's been the biggest lesson you've learned over the last year in your experience in NFTs?
I've learned a lot of things, but it's not only NFT related. It's a lot of like business related, related to like how to handle business with friends, how to onboard people, how to manage people. A lot of things that I thought I know from my like product management and like developer role. A lot of learnings there. I think overall I don't know what's the biggest one. It's a very good question, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, there probably isn't just one either. I mean, you learn things that worked, things that didn't work. As you move on, it's about being fluent with what flows.
I think one of the biggest things is really aligning with everyone you work together, aligning really where you want to go. Where should we go in 5-10 years? I think that's a big learning.
A business plan with targets and try and hit each target. And then once you hit each target, move on to the next one instead of just aiming for the moon and hoping for it.
Exactly. And also like really aligning that the people that you work with want the same thing that you want.
So PFO, would you say that your vision from the beginning of this project before the launch of the mint is still the same vision as it is today? Has it evolved? Has it changed?
I think it evolved a lot. Like I speak to a lot of like community people, and also like now we have people from the community in our team. But some people tell me different stories of what they experienced, what this whole like Stoned Ape thing is about, based on when they entered. Like, because I think like early people still know that it's like, for us, it was always about like creating this community around creative culture, cannabis, and really have a chill community. So that's what we fostered from the beginning. What we want to do next with like other community members like coming in that also had like sometimes big visions. And there's always been two sides to this. Like there's been in our team always the people that are super interested in cannabis and building out this in real life brand. And then there has always been the other side that's more like tech focused and more the tech people. So we always had like these two groups in the team. So it definitely evolved in where we want to go.
Well, I saw we got New York's in the house. DeFi, you with us?
Big salute, Big Puff. I'm here. What's good?
Puff, homie.
How you doing,
Big
man?
Puff, yo. I didn't hear from you for a long time, so glad to hear you.
I'm here, man. I'm here. The fam is here. What's going on?
How are the fours? Are the fours in the air?
Oh, fours are always here, man. It's Big Puff. It's fours. You know what I will say, man? My first Solana mint and first community was this one right here, and so I want to say salute to everybody here, and Big Puff.
I love that. Yeah, actually, I still remember the first Stone Ape rap. That was kind of epic for me.
I think the Puff joint is the intro for this.
Yeah.
And the nuke joint, I got crazy on the nuke joint. That's a fact.
Stone Apes, what's up? I was with my apes, we was outside trooping, bars on looping, everybody grooving. Out the blue sky fell, caused wild pollution. What to do when a few apes start to nuking? Oohs and ahs, they run off with lucid hearts. Power shift, no coup d'etats. Now faced with new threats, we no longer calm. Gotta find our lost brothers linked arm to arm. SEAL team huddled, plan to walk the void, teams paired on the double, prepared for the trouble. Mixed up the roles so we all have the best shot. All the smoke alone did enough to make your head pop. Biz apes hustle from $1 in a dream. Farmer apes ready, pack banana for the team. Artist apes create so they illustrate pristine, while scientists miss trying to analyze the scene. Ready, set, go, now we searching for the kin. Particles are falling, you can feel it on your skin. Wasn't too long till we found them in the days. Head back to home base, then we celebrate the win. We safe and sound, set them down and explain to them. I can see through you, mutations from uranium. It's all good, come and join us for retreats, where every stone ape puffin' peace. Hot times.
I did that for the love. That's for the sack. That's yeah.
I loved it.
You know, the music is here. I still do music. I have a project and I'm trying to do the Omerta mixtape. So it'd be dope to, the community is here. If there's other people that make music and want to kind of do something, we can keep the music vibes going. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's go.
That's awesome.
How does it feel seeing something you created, PFO, in Stoned Apes, and then seeing other people like DeFi take that idea and then create their own thing? So like create his music on your idea. What's that like?
It's cool. It's really this community thing that drives you forward. It was just cool to see so many people creating something around what we did. I loved it. And I really said like, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, who does like a rap for? I know if for example, you create a brand and you want to sell hoodies, who creates a rap song for someone selling shirts? That was just crazy.
Well, if you want LTY to rap about Old Navy, I'm sure he can come up with something.
No, man, Old Navy's gonna have to pay me the Old Navy size check is what they're gonna have to do. But you know what I'll say, man? It's like going into COVID and coming out of COVID and then finding Stone Ape in like November. That was around my birthday that year. It was community, man. It was like a reason to rap again. It was a reason to fuel myself to make something creative, because it was kind of like a lull. Like music got boring, it got stale. I've been doing this a while, and just to have more content, to have people that were interested, it was like a new fire. So not only was that fun, and this engagement is back and forth, but people that just generally want to hear more about you. And I don't know, I hear a lot of negatives in the NFT space, but I had a genuine positive experience in Stone Ape, and that's what I try to cultivate everywhere I go and in the communities I lead now. So it's like, music is just, it's a part of me, but also now Stone Ape, when I'm in there and that's my ape and that's my PFP, that's a part of me. And how can I kind of integrate that? That inspired me. I appreciate you for inspiring me and inspiring certain elements of that. And that's what it's about.
I feel the same. Like it was like 20 years before I was doing design degrees, started Stoned Apes, decided I could brand this ape of mine, and here I am. It's pretty freaking awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Shout out Banana Banners.
Banana Banners, Stone Beanie Gang.
It's sick. It's cool to see other people inspired, and also just being able to give an audience. Yeah, as everyone knows, the rap is pretty insane. You're rapping really good.
DeFi's a legend. What kind of music you listen to, PFO?
Hip hop, obviously. A lot of the old stuff, 90s. And
You got a favorite
like
artist?
0 It's tricky.
That's the hardest question to ask anyone ever.
It's tricky.
I mean,
Run DMC, not
Kinda
German
tricky.
hip hop.
Dre.
Trey is a legend. Yes. I like
think at
Eminem
first-
as well.
I think I first started talking to DeFi about Jazzmatazz and Jurassic
Oh, yeah.
5. I compared you to Jazzmatazz, and then you were like, Guru, that's what I call myself.
Guru. As soon as I heard that as a kid, I was like, oh man, this guy, he did something different. It's not just hip hop, it's like jazz and hip hop. You can do that? I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna do that.
That's sick. Yeah, and of course, like German artists, there's some good ones. It's just like second class to US rap.
What do you see PFO in developers in this space and other developers, project leads you speak to?
Often you don't like speak a lot to like others. I'm a big fan of some people that I linked up with. For example, Carlos is a great guy from Charlie. Then Tom from Tayo. Those are big two people that I connect with regularly. I'm more recently with Carlos. And also it's kind of sad to see that, for example, some people that I think really tried haven't been able to make it. But overall, yes, I agree a lot. It's cool to be able to connect with those people. But sometimes it's also a little bit like cringe because you're like competing in a way
I was going to say,
for the attention.
Do you find it like sometimes hard to get information from certain people, if you know what I mean? Like, because you're a direct competition a lot of the time, and obviously sometimes they can help you, but other times they probably don't want to necessarily give you the tip because then that just gives you the edge, right? Do you find that that's the vibe sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes you don't like connect with other founders and like they're saying like, yeah, what's going on for you guys and stuff like that. So sometimes you can't present everything. Like sometimes when I talk too openly, like someone took the idea and just like because we didn't prioritize it, it just has been taken by someone else.
Yeah, the concept just goes with somebody, and if they've got development skills and they're pretty handy, they can throw something together pretty quick.
Or they just take it because it just works for them right now. For example, after New Tapes had a lot of ideas on like from minting on like how to do whitelisting and stuff like that and which kind of tools would be nice. So I had like a whole list and I shared it with some people. Actually, some of them just implemented those kind of things because they just had a second collection to mint or something like that.
Well, I think there's room for competition, of course, in NFT space. It's still early, it's going to grow. There are multiple coffee shops that can exist, but if I run Timmy's and you run Starbucks, we're probably not going to be telling each other secrets, like you said, but there's room for both, but you are always competing. You're competing for attention. You're competing for dollars in terms of people buying the projects. So it's a fine line, I think, like you said, PFO, of being courteous, respectful, sharing things, but also through your experience, hey, I shared some stuff and they just turned around and made it, because there's not really rules against that, I guess, right?
Not really.
Try and talk in code, but not tell them the concept.
I don't see it really that we like competing for, like, of course there are projects that you're competing more with, but I also think there are a lot of projects that I don't compete with at all. For example, like when I hear like people speaking of the Silicon Valley area, like people back then like talked about like Microsoft and some other tech company, they just, of course they thought a little bit about being able to compete, but they thought they just grow this overall industry so big and over all the different sectors. So like tech is used everywhere now. So I think the same about Web3 and NFTs.
And honestly, I think there's a lot of good that comes out of some healthy competition, because each NFT kind of appeases to a different set of group.
And I like that. I just want to say, I just love that we have being able to like have good art, deliver something on the real life side, but also have like cool tech things coming up. So a little bit of like having it all, but also razor focused on certain areas. I like that combination. So I'm grateful for everyone that's right now here, because all of you contributed majorly to where we are right now, I think. I need to hop off really soon because I'm already late. It was great talking, and I think we should definitely do this again. I really enjoyed it. Cool.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on, PFO. Appreciate you coming on, sharing the stories with us. Definitely have you on again.
Appreciate you.
But I'd love to see so many OGs I would consider like joining in. So it was cool to all talk to you again and spend some time. As I said, we should definitely do this again.
Yeah, we should. Thanks for the call, PFO. Appreciate it, man. Puff, puff.
Big puff.
Puff, puff. Big puff.
Puff, puff.
Puff. Take care, man.
Yeah, big
puff.
puffin'.
Ciao, ciao, and puff, puff.
Puff, puff, y'all.
Stone apes get high, puff puff. We like puff puff past that